reports have recently emerged claiming that Rico Lewis was of interest to Nottingham Forest, who of course have now just signed James McAtee from Man City. Rico Lewis, however, has come out and said that he always wanted to play for City. It's his dream club, and he's never ever seen himself playing for a different club. And Guardiola's also said that he expects Lewis to stay, but a summer exit could not be entirely ruled out just yet. He's been quoted saying, "I think he's going to stay. He told me that, but maybe tomorrow it changes." So a little bit of uncertainty there, but you know, what do you make of Rico Lewis's situation, Steve? How pleased are you that the player himself to actually come out and express his desire to stay, and how important is it that City do keep hold of him this summer? He's a right back for a start and homegrown as well.
Yeah, the opinion is relatively divided amongst City fans, but I think most of them appreciate, even if they're not sure about his physicality. And Guardiola did allude to that again in the press conferences after the game. But I think most appreciate that he's a really smart footballer. He's obviously got an immense love for the club. He's a Radcliffe lad, which is not only around the corner from the Etihad. No, well, not fully around the corner, but it's near. It's Manchester. It's not Manchester. Um, so. He loves the club. He's been here since he was a child. He's living his dream, and I think, to be honest, replacing him, I don't know really else we could really get right now. And I think they've obviously scoured the market and decided that the options aren't really viable. So in that instance, if you're not going to got an option to buy, and we can't really go overseas as well because we haven't got any non-homegrown player spots in the squad, so we won't be able to register anyone yeah, that's a foreign player. So yeah, essentially we've got real no choice but to keep Rico anyway. Look, if he wants to go, City probably will accept a decent bid. But I think Rico was probably satiated by how Guardiola's used him, in the build up to the season. I think he was going to play a fair bit to Club World Cup until that unfortunate red card, and I think he started here in the Wolves game on merit, and he showed just how useful he is in a City side that plays like this. Like last season, the football was far too stagnant for him to excel, and we were far too exposed physically. Teams aggressive on the break against us, and his lack of physicality was sort of exposed. And I think in a team that wasn't playing good football as well, he didn't have the movement around him. Rico Lewis is at his best when everyone's buzzing about and the positional interchange is really good. If that's not there, he's sort of ineffective as well as not really being effective physically. So he just looked a little bit lost. This City side, look, he still has obviously physical issues because he's just a really small lad, unfortunately for him, does affect his career a little bit. But when they're playing football like this, he's one of the best. He really is. Like his movement is insane. Like knowing to make that run for the first goal and his little give and goes with people. He links up so nicely and so naturally with Oscar Bob. He's a really smart footballer, and there is a role for him in games like this. Look. I think he might struggle against the paciest, biggest wingers, and if it were penned in, yeah, I understand why you'd want to see someone else there. But Rico is very talented. I'd love to know how he feels when Guardiola constantly talks about his height in press conferences because it must be a little bit like there's nothing I can do about that, mate. But it's sort of true. He's smaller than the small players, unfortunately. He's a really nice lad and he'll be aware of it. But 3 inches taller and he's Manchester City's number one right back, unquestionably, and he starts every single game and he's probably playing for England already regularly. So it's essentially it's tough for him. But I guess if we build the right circumstances around him, sort of do allow for his lack of physicality, then he's a really good player. So I think it's good that he's staying personally. And I think the more City fans we have in the squad anyway, I think it's the better because I think it does make a difference when the players that you have support your own side, and Rico does.
Yeah, I think there are more positive reasons to keep Lewis and let him go. I think this summer in particular. So
Yeah.
yeah, hopefully he is one that remains at the Etihad this summer.